Welcome to Legally Speaking with Attorney Antoinette Osbourne. This program is for information purposes only. If you need legal advice, you can contact me, Antoinette Osbourne, at 718 502 9137. The office focuses on divorce, immigration, bankruptcy, real estate, and estate matters. We also do eviction proceedings. There is a second office in Jamaica, West Indies that focuses on legal representation if you are seeking to buy or sell property in Jamaica or if you're looking to wrap up an estate. For housekeeping purposes, prior outcomes do not guarantee a similar result. Thank you for joining us today on YouTube. It's going to be rough for immigrants, right? And for those of you who may not be aware, the tides are turning and they are turning for the worse. And I'm going to get into this now, so I want you to brace yourself, right? Because the Secretary of Homeland Security, yeah, has now delegated the USCIS director to the USCIS director now has the authority. I want you to understand that, to order expedited removal. For those of you who are not aware of what that is, remember you had a lot of people going to court and you saw the ICE officers outside and the ERO officers because they were just arresting them. Well, that was expedited removal. What was actually happening in the courts was the judges were terminating the cases when you encountered immigration within 2 years of being here. The judges were allowed to just terminate the case and then you could be expeditedly removed. That is, you don't have no court hearing. You could just be pushed out with an order of deportation once you came here within 2 years and you weren't claiming asylum. You see, asylum was what barred a lot of people from being expedited removed because they claimed asylum. But now USCIS has put a whole new aspect on this where Secretary of Homeland Security has now delegated USCIS with the USCIS director with the delegation that I'm giving it to you guys now. Right? That this is not just ICE now. You, USCIS, you can order those expedited removals. Right? And another important thing, right, is that we're now going to have a law enforcement arm in USCIS. So with this new designation, right, the USCIS now, right, has the authority with these new officers that they are going to recruit, right? So now they have the authority to issue and execute detainers and warrants of arrest or removal. They're not going to be able to detain aliens and have to wait on the ERO officers to come upstairs no more. You're going to have special officers now who can detain aliens, right? Release you on bond. So under this administration, anyone who is awake is going to see this is an enforcement tactic. So anyone who was there sitting down waiting on amnesty, this is not the administration for it. Anyone with their eyes open will see that all that is happening now is enforcement, right? Just tuning in, you're listening to Legally Speaking with attorney Antoinette Osbourne. You have a question this morning. Calling number is 718 502 9137. It's the same number to call during the week to make an appointment. That is 718 502 9137. 7. So, when you were in that interview, USCIS would have to wait on federal law enforcement to come down and arrest you. You are now going to go into your interviews, and if that officer believes that you are committing fraud, for those of you who are engaging in these marriages, they are ramping up the numbers of officers. And first of all, this new special designation that USCIS is now accorded with, they are going on a mass hiring because they're now going to be hiring law enforcement, these quote unquote special agents that are now going to work with USCIS. Them not have to rely on HSI officers no more. Everything is a one-stop shop. And they're putting out the warnings. So it's not just the candidates have to fear. Attorneys, once them believe, say, these candidates who are looking, the petitioner and the beneficiary, right? The petitioner is looking to accord the beneficiary with a green card. And this marriage is fraud. After them arrest the petitioner and beneficiary, the next person who is going to be investigated to be arrested is the attorney. So now things are turning extremely serious now, right? So the super burden on attorneys now is to do our due diligence that you are not engaged in fraudulent marriage. Because nobody now go to jail for no. So make sure your life right. And that me I tell you now, cut and clear. They're not playing. They are now creating their own law enforcement at USCIS to do their investigations, to do their arrests, to detain you, and to expeditedly remove you. They might do everything right this so. Right? So when I looked at when Kristi Noem signed this order, this was signed by May 2nd. But what they do internally, it takes time. Yeah? For the public to know what is going on. And right now, everybody is under scrutiny. And them don't like the attorneys already. As you can see, anybody who go into an interview, the attorney is either we very close to the officer or we set back to the wall. Yeah, them don't like we. And I will tell you, they are super aggressive with attorneys. So when you go in now, this is a serious interview. People take this for a game. Now that USCIS officers have the power to arrest and detain you right there and remove your backside right away. Expedited removal. Who put you in a deportation? Them are one-stop shop. Them suspect fraud. Them are going to arrest you. Them are going to detain you. And now them have the power to expeditedly remove you. Them are reduce the backlog in the court system now. That's how serious this is. So now we have the USCIS 1811 classified officers, the AKA special agents. They have the power of law enforcement. It gets serious. So they have the powers to investigate you. They are allowed to carry firearms. You can be arrested. They have the power now. Let's say you put in an application right now. And one of the things that causes HSI officers to go to your residence is return mail. That's why back in the day, them usually tell you, say, make sure your name pan the mailbox. Because this used to trigger HSI officers to come to your yard. and try to determine whether you really live there. So when them see this a go on and them suspect, you know what? Mail a come back. So what, these people don't live here? Hi, Brad? Yeah, we have to go to... Yes. And they say they know. We are go at them yard. Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you all the time, say, two of them are come. So now, them are going to get them search warrant. And them have them arrest warrant too. So they come in. Right? And they can turn you over for prosecution. But let's say them decide, say, nobody now want to prosecute. You waste time now. Expeditedly remove you. Get you out. You're violating America's immigration law. So this is exactly what is happening, right? And I can't encourage you enough. Be very careful with your applications because they are recruiting for the USCIS law enforcement section where they're coming. And right there in that interview room, they can arrest and detain you. So if they believe you are committing fraud, the purpose is to reduce the fraud that is occurring in the immigration system, right? So focus on the fact now. The USCIS director has the authority to order expedited removal. This is serious. Expedited removal means you don't even get a hearing in immigration court. You're just ordered deported. So the USCIS director has been given this power, yeah, by Kristi Noem. This is so serious, and I want you to appreciate the severity of this. Because you can go to your interview and you buck up into the law enforcement section of USCIS. That officer is investigating you, they're questioning you, and they believe that you are committing fraud. You can be arrested in that interview. Them not for wait for nobody. Back in the day, them used to wait for the law enforcement section to come down to arrest you. So you'd be sitting in the interview room with the officer, and here is the law enforcement section coming. No, but them have them own law enforcement now. This is where it's at. Right in that room. And the director can now order you expeditedly removed. Nobody now send you to court. And they have now created their one-stop shop. They want they're seeking a greater capacity to support the Department of Homeland Security efforts so that they can now handle investigations from start to finish. Usually, USCIS would turn this over to ICE. But by doing this, you're taking away ICE and the ERO officers' attention, who their main focus is on disrupting transnational crime. Right? So all of them, when you go on if anybody goes on the ICE website, it's scary. Because when you see the people they arrest, and it's sad because a certain ethnicity is always some sexual offense involving children. And this has to be a cultural thing. Because how, unless these people are specifically targeted and them not focus on anybody else, me can't understand how one culture has so many arrests for sexually exploiting children. But these are the arrests that you will see on the website. And it's scary in a backside. Yeah. So now, the aim right here is that this will allow them
to more efficiently clear the backlog. Them not for rely on HSI and ERO. They have their own law enforcement section. And nobody not for send you to court. Them can just order you removed because they know the director of USCIS now has the power to remove you. So them not create no backlog in an immigration court. And this I want you to understand how serious this is. Just tuning in, you're listening to Legally Speaking with attorney Antoinette Osbourne. This morning I'm just focusing because a lot of you don't know.
If you've reached this far in the video, that means you are at the end of the program. At this time, if this information served some value to you, I would ask that you like, share, and subscribe so it will allow the information to reach further in our community. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok page. Thank you.